Okay, we are looking at a historical moment absolutely packed with grandeur, incredibly high stakes, and a breathtaking romantic rebellion that has literally echoed through the centuries. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to unpack the incredible true lore of Sanyogita and Prithviraj Chauhan. Let's get right into it.
So what happens when royal pride meets ultimate defiance? It's a pretty profound question, right? Today we're exploring a deeply personal act of defiance, one single individual choice that ultimately reshaped an entire geopolitical landscape and set the stage for epic, devastating historical conflicts. Because this wasn't just a romance, it was the spark that ignited a massive power struggle.
Section 1. The Grand Swayamvara, a royal choice. Now, a Swayamvara wasn't just your standard royal wedding. It was an ancient practice where a bride actually chose her husband from a whole assembly of powerful kings and princes. Really, it was the ultimate display of royal power and alliance building. Just picture a breathtaking sunrise over the magnificent city of Kannauj. The royal palace is completely decked out in vibrant flowers, colorful fabrics, and these huge golden banners catching the morning light. You've got thousands of guests arriving, kings and princes from across the land, riding in on elaborately decorated elephants and horses. The spectacle is just massive. And right at the center of this incredibly suspenseful grand hall is Princess Sanyogita. She enters gracefully, holding a ceremonial flower garland, ready to make a choice that is literally going to change history.
Section 2. A calculated insult. Gatekeeper statue.
So here is where the petty traps of royalty come into play. King Jayachandra, who was Sanyogita's father, wanted to publicly humiliate his greatest rival, Prithviraj Chauhan. The source material actually describes the king angrily barking orders in his royal court. He commissioned these highly skilled craftsmen to rapidly build a magnificent, incredibly lifelike statue of Prithviraj. But, it wasn't an honor at all. He deliberately had it placed at the very entrance of the hall to serve as a lowly gatekeeper. It was a totally calculated move to mock a powerful king before the entire assembly of Indian royalty. Just brutal.
Section 3. The Act of Defiance, a bold choice. The trap is set, but the princess has her own plans.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer unpredictability of human agency. King Jayachandra's intended outcome was total humiliation, right? He wanted to reduce his rival to a mere gatekeeper. But the actual reality, well, the hall is packed with the absolute most powerful men in India, all wearing magnificent royal attire, all vying for her hand, and Sanyogita ignores every single one of them. No joke. She walks with absolute confidence and immense courage directly toward the entrance, completely bypassing the assembled kings, and places her ceremonial flower garland right around the statue's neck. Jayachandra's intensely egocentric plan just completely backfired.
The entire hall falls silent as King Jayachandra is shocked and furious. Just imagine that moment for a second. The sheer, deafening silence in this massive grand hall. The absolute shock on the king's face as he realizes his own daughter has just publicly allied herself with his most hated rival right in front of all his royal peers.
Section 4. The Great Escape. A daring rescue.
But hey, that deafening silence doesn't last long. At the exact moment Sanyogita chooses the statue, the real Prithviraj Chauhan completely shatters the silence. He executes this lightning-fast rescue strategy. Dressed fully as a Rajput warrior, he makes a daring, totally cinematic entrance with his fiercely loyal horsemen. In one swift move, he lifts Sanyogita up onto his white horse, and instantly, his elite warriors form an impenetrable protective circle around the couple. They are racing away from the palace grounds before the furious king can even process what is happening.
And what follows is basically a slow-motion action sequence playing out in history. Within hour 1, they burst through the palace gates in Kannauj, enveloped in flying dust with arrows literally slicing through the air behind them. By hour 3, the cavalry is galloping at maximum speed, plunging through dense forests and crossing rushing rivers. At hour 6, the tension completely peaks. They're navigating these treacherous rocky valleys, with Jayachandra's furious soldiers hot on their heels, desperate to reclaim the princess. Finally, at hour 12, as the sun sets in this breathtaking display, they arrive safely behind the massive, impenetrable walls of the mighty fort of Delhi.
Section 5. The Seeds of War, a Vow of Revenge.
Now, the immediate aftermath is joyous. The source tells us the people of Delhi welcome their king and their new queen with a massive shower of flower petals, beating drums, and huge celebrations. But, back in Kannauj, King Jayachandra vows revenge. And this is the crucial takeaway here. While we just witnessed this grand, successful, romantic victory and an incredible display of personal agency,
It was the exact spark that would eventually plunge these magnificent ancient kingdoms into devastating large-scale conflict. The insult was just too deep, and the public humiliation of the father was way too severe.
So, was the triumph of love and defiance worth the impending war? It's a really heavy question. When personal pride and bold romance collide on the grand stage of history, the cost is often unimaginable. Think about the incredible bravery Sanyogita showed, but also the enormous geopolitical fallout that followed. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep questioning history, and I'll catch you next time.